Today we're going to talk about the weather. What? The weather? Yes, the weather.
We all have a satisfaction associated with doing something that somebody finds useful.
The weather. Is it good weather today? Is it bad weather today? Oh, I don't know. What if you got to choose the weather? That's an interesting thought. Well, in one sense, you do. Now, there's an actual disorder, season affective disorder or something like that. And the acronym spells SAD, season affective disorder. And it really has to do with long nights and lots of overcast stuff. It is sufficient to affect people's mood to where they exhibit symptoms of depression. And it puts them in a sad place. And that is an actual disorder where the weather has such an impact, and there may be a positive one too, I don't know, but I know seasonal affective disorder is, acronym SAD, has to do with a lot of overcast, a lot of long, winter comes in wintertime, especially in northern latitudes or way southern, where it's like dark, long periods of time. Also areas where it's overcast like all the time, coastal areas and stuff like that. So those things are true, and what it tells us is that the weather outside has an effect on us. And we know that, but we don't actually control the weather, right? In fact, we can't even predict the weather with any degree of accuracy. It's funny because, there's a funny saying that says, if a butterfly flaps its wings in Beijing, will there be a tornado in Kansas? And the true answer to that question is maybe. And the reason is because weather itself is so complex that we actually can't tell anything about it. What we can do is observe what is, storm tracks and high pressure and low pressure, and we can sort of predict their near-term behavior over a few hours and maybe a day or two. And the reason we can't do it beyond that is that there's simply too many variables. It is too complex. So when a system has lots and lots of variables in it, it's called a complex system, and the number of possibilities change so much so fast and diverge that it's really impossible to predict with any accuracy. So that's why the weather's so hard to predict. And so enough about the actual weather outside. I lived in Phoenix for a long time, and I didn't like the summer there. Some people love the heat, love the sun, and it's hot from mid-April to mid-November, very hot from mid-May to mid-October. And the first 100-degree days usually in April, and June is usually counting how many days over 110 in a row are there. I think the record that I know about, I lived there for 20 years, off and on different periods. It was like 18 days in a row over 110 or something like that. And I didn't enjoy that. The heat made me a bit lethargic, and I needed to do something intentionally and on purpose in order to get the things done I wanted to do, because I chose to continue to live there. I had a job there at the time, and I wanted to be there more than I wanted to create a different opportunity. Okay, I could have, but I didn't. What I want to talk about today is creating your own weather. So there's a band, a jazz orchestra called Weather Report, kind of a funk jazz fusion band that was in the 80s, 90s, and I liked their music, upbeat funk jazz stuff, and it was really good. But one of the albums they had was a picture of a felt hat. So like, think of an Indiana Jones hat. So the guy's got a hat on, only it wasn't a person underneath, and the name of the band was Weather Report. It had some thunder and lightning over here and stuff like that, but it was under this hat. And that's kind of what I picture when I think of creating your own weather, because your own weather is your internal storm, sunshine, rain, snow, sleet, clouds, seasonal affective disorder, or whatever it is that you create internally. And I want to talk about how we can control our internal weather. You know what it's like when you feel sunny, you're happy, you've got a sunshine, blue skies, that song, Blue Skies, nothing but blue skies, all I see. Somebody might sing that on a cloudy day. What's the difference? Well, it's an internal choice. I have to see blue skies. And it's because of what's going on in my life, or it's because I've decided to do this. There's no question that external circumstances can have a big impact on us. So Nelson Mandela, who many of you will know, spent 27 years in prison as a political prisoner. He eventually was released and became the president of South Africa and so forth. And during that 27 years, which is like an incredibly long time, I'm sure there were down days, months, years, but he had a positive outlook and attitude. He created weather for himself that was good, so that when he got out, he wasn't recovering from 27 years of misery and depression. He was simply amplifying the weather that he had created for himself. You see sports figures who have some kind of a challenge, even in the Olympics, you see people running on those, fake legs, bionic legs, whatever they are, and they're now competing at the world level. And, of course, there's controversy. Does that give them an advantage? And we used to think of it as a disability. And now it's, an advantage? Oh, dear. We can't make up our minds, right? When those kind of things happen, how you decide to live with it is creating your own weather. Okay? There was a story that I read about an airplane, true story, went down. And the mother on the airplane was burned and horribly disfigured, and she wanted to die. And in fact, she thought about committing suicide and didn't want her children to see her the way that she was, because she just thought it was better if she slipped out of their lives, never to be seen again. Instead, with the help of her family and prayers and blessings and things, she got through that period and then became a very, very popular mommy blogger and made a huge difference for a lot of people. And there are tons of stories like that, but those are real people that live today, and they live around you and they live around me. So what does that teach us? That teaches us that creating your own sunshine is not only possible, but desirable, and it's something you actually have the power to do. Because often when we hear those stories, we say, well, yeah, that's them. I could never do that. And the answer is yes, you can. Yes, you can, and you can start today. So the easiest way to start is, what is the rain in your day today? What is the cloud? Identify what is the thing that you're hurting from, blaming, that's like the big thunderstorm in your horizon right now. And if there isn't something right now, you can think about this when there is. So when that feeling comes, the guy in the hat with the thunderstorm. Okay, when that comes, what is it? And there's 3 questions. 1, can you actually do anything about it right now? If you can't, you have permission to set it aside, because you can't actually affect that. The second thing is, even if you can do something about it, is it important for you right now, or are you just choosing to be upset or sad about something that's over there that you could go wade into, but it's either not your business or it doesn't matter? Now, if it turns out that you should and you could, wading into it in a negative way won't help you. Getting in a positive, powerful state before you go do whatever it is you could do is the way to make a difference and make something happen. So what I do to make my own weather is I start first thing in the morning. Is the minute I wake up, I don't even get out of bed until I have spent a moment or 2 or 5 thinking about what I'm happy about today, what my opportunities are today, what things I'm excited to go do today. And I do that every single day. And you know what? I've created sunshine before I look out the window. I've created opportunity before I pick up the phone and see what messages I've got from my business. I've created commitment and excitement before anything else. I then move on with spiritual ritual. I then say a prayer in the morning, and I take those things I've been thinking about and commit to God. That's what I'm going to do today. And then ask, if there's something else I should be doing, and, that sort of thing. But it starts with a choice to create my own weather. I identify the negative spots. I figure out whether or not I can do anything. I figure out if it's truly something I need to be upset about, or am I minding someone else's business? I wish they would. If you spend a lot of time unhappy because you want somebody else to whatever, you're going to spend a lot of time both unhappy and frustrated, because of course we don't control others. I challenge you to think about your weather, to realize that you can change it, and then to make a choice to do so every day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for watching the videos. Take this opportunity, leave a comment, subscribe most of all, and don't forget to spread the word about this channel.